Hello, my loves. My name is Katie of Rosebloom Readings. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm very, 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 very excited about today's reading. I get excited about all the readings, but today especially, I'm very excited about today's reading. Today's reading is going to be a past life reading, but more specifically, lessons that you have brought from your past life into this life, or perhaps explanations for why you have experienced the things that you're experiencing in this life or going through the things you're going through in this life in connection to a significant past life that you have had. And the past life reading has been rattling around, Spirit's been bringing it up, and they are my most all-time favorite readings to do. I love the love readings. I love the saucy readings. I love all the readings, but past life readings especially are so exciting for me to do. Love doing them. Favorite reading to do, bar none. I don't get to do them nearly as much as I would like to. So when Spirit brought it up for the readings for the channel, I was very excited. So yeah, we're going to be looking into how your past life is connecting into this life and your experiences that you're going through. I feel as though it's going to be specifically pertaining to things that you need to hear now, explanations that you need to receive for the now. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you stumble upon it is when you're meant to receive those messages. Very exciting stuff, my darlings. So, as always, timestamps are down in the description below. We have 4 piles today with the... Oh... I forget the name of this deck. I love this deck. It's by a very, very, very sweet, very talented artist on Etsy. All my decks that I use are always down in the description box. I cannot remember it. Something to do with Elisabeth. Love this deck. That's our selector card for today. Pile number 1 is Listen. Pile number 2 is Lost and Found. Pile number 3 is Lesson. And pile number 4 is Lucidity. As always, my darlings, if you feel drawn to pick more than one pile, do so. There could be messages that are meant for you in different piles. Take the messages that resonate as they do. Leave behind what doesn't for those who are meant to receive it. And we will get started. Hello, 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 my loves. Pile number 1, if you picked this gorgeous Listen card, there's something about this card, that has me really in my feelings. And I don't mean that in like a melancholy way. I feel like you are really experiencing a very significant period of much needed rest. And I want to say isolation, but I don't want to say isolation in the way that makes it sound as though you're completely alone outside of choice. You have contact with your loved ones. You are still with your loved ones. They hear from you. You hear from them. But you're really taking a step back and really spending time on your own, really connecting with yourself. The life that I'm connecting to for you, my darlings, is feeling very Nordic. It feels very, very much what I feel like you want to reconnect to in this life. It feels very like kind of like a homestead or like a cabin, or you know, living out of your like refurbished van or outside of your like cottage or a tiny home, something like that, but something very, very much in the wilderness, connected to the wilderness. You want to be growing your own food. You want to have animals. You want to be making your own food. You really want to reconnect to this life where that was how you did things, and you feel very peaceful. And I feel like it's a dream that you've had for quite a while, but I do feel as though a lot of you live in a place where there are significantly colder seasons. There is snow, or at the very least, you're drawn to living in places like that if you don't live in them. And the people around you are like, well, that doesn't seem safe or conventional. What are you going to do when you're in a blizzard? But you feel the call of this, and you really, 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 really can't stop thinking about it. You can't stop dreaming about it. My throat just gave out a little bit. So throat chakra energy, my darlings, you've kind of stopped bringing it up to the people that you trust the most, because they've kind of shot it down. And that's my darlings, this is pulling you away. pulling you a certain way for a reason. And we have the bird here, and the bird feels very far in the distance, so it feels like you're really being led somewhere outside of your own comfort zone. We have Sacred Reverie, absolutely gorgeous. And then we have Spirit of Gratitude. Okay, this is beautiful. Yeah, you are so into, you could be green witches. You could be into yoga, Reiki healing, crystal healing. You could be kitchen witches. Very much working with your hands, connecting with source through your hands and creating food and creating medicines. You're very into homeopathic medicine, natural medicine, tinctures like that. Very connected to that. I'm feeling as though I can see this kind of I can see this kind of collection of like little like huts or even yurts. I'm not, are yurts from, are they Norway? Something, anyway, yurts. Little tents, little huts. Um, but like nice ones, like like a, between a, like a, some sort of hybrid between like a tent, a hut, and a cabin, which would be a yurt. I'm describing a yurt. Um, and there's this huge fire in the center of it, and it's this very, very, very nice warm sense of community. It's snowing very, very heavily. Everyone's bundled up very nicely. The spirit's telling me there's other names for it, not just yurt, so this doesn't have to specifically be a yurt, but based on my knowledge and the lack thereof, that's the reference we're going with to try and describe. I don't have a plug I can connect what I'm seeing into what you're seeing. So I have to do the best that I can. But very warm, very big sense of community. And I feel as though in this particular lifetime, you were somebody who was called upon a lot by this community. You were really sought out by this community. You had a great deal of respect given to you by this community. There were leaders of this community who treated you with very, 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 very heavy respect and sought out your advice and your guidance as well. And it does feel as though the advice and guidance that you gave pertains very much to natural medicine, to homeopathic medicine, to healing through food, through plants, and your knowledge of that. And it feels like this is a very recent interest that has kind of sprung up for you. In the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years, something that you really just stumbled upon it. You've been very connected to spirituality most of your adult life, or at the very least, for the most part, in the last recent years. And it's kind of your research and experience online and reading and so forth has kind of snowballed into finding this aspect of spirituality that you very deeply connect with, and it's for this reason. And it's beautiful to see. You were so respected and sought out, and that's why it kind of feels very strange to have yourself say something and have your community, the people that you love and care about, because you are still very much adored and respected in this lifetime by the circle you have around you. But it feels kind of off for people to not trust what you're saying, for you to be like, I want to go here, I want to experience this, I want to live this life, etc., 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 and to have your people be like, what are you talking about, instead of like, yes, that sounds great, whatever you say, we agree with. What are we gonna pull next? We're gonna pull, let's pull some Tarot of the Divine. We have quite a few decks today. But this is the only tarot deck. So let's see what comes up through there. Yeah, it feels like you have a very, very healing touch as well. You also have a very nurturing nature. I feel like whatever people need, you always have on you. If you're out with friends and they're feeling a bit peckish, you're like, oh, I have I have a snack in my pocket or bag or car. people come to you to visit you, and they're like, oh, I've been feeling this kind of way, and you're like, oh, I have just the thing for that. They're like, oh, I have a bit of a throat tickle, and you're like, don't worry, I just bought some honey, here, take a jar. Like, you're just very helpful, very nurturing, very resourceful in that way. We have the Fool. Yes, you want to start something new, you want to go somewhere new, you're seeking out something completely different than what you know. The fact that the Fool is the Little Mermaid in this deck, goodness gracious. We have the Ten of Swords, completion, and we have the Seven of Cups. Yes, yeah, absolutely. You are in a state of choice. You're in a state of going through what you have needed to go through. You want something different. You want something new. You really want to leave behind what it is that you have thus far. And I don't mean that in a particularly negative way. You're not running from what you've had and created and experienced thus far, but you really want something new. You want to go towards something else. You feel the call. I can hear this bird calling. It feels very much like an eagle or a hawk or a falcon. I don't know enough about birds of prey to identify the call that I'm hearing. It's very screechy, very spirit stallion of the Cimarron, that bird that always like called to him. The original 2000 something 1 or 2 version, my favorite movie as a child. I was a horse girl, no big deal. revealing too much about myself. Okay, so that kind of bird call, and it's calling to you, and you hear it, and I feel like you might even have like dreams where it could be nothing to do with a bird, but you hear that sort of screeching, echoing call out in the distance, and you don't really notice it. And I want you to start journaling your dreams, my darlings, because there's a lot of fragments of memories of this particular life that's coming up that I want you to experience and relive, because it's wonderful. It is so warm, so deeply loved, really something that your soul is calling you back to for a reason. And you feel it. You know something's out there. I can hear the Little Mermaid Disney songs where she's singing about, there's more being out there and part of your world and so on and so forth. I don't feel as though you're following a particular person. I am going to say that. I don't feel as though a particular person is influencing or leading you in these decisions. These feel entirely your own. You could also be, I feel a majority of you are single in this endeavor, at least in the beginning. Those of you that want a connection, there is a connection coming. Those of you that aren't worried about it, because I feel like you're preoccupied with this, such is the way, my darlings, don't even worry about it. And we have the Seven of Cups. This is a matter of decision and confirmation from Spirit that whatever decision you make isn't going to be bad or wrong. Whatever you feel led to isn't going to be bad or wrong. If you decide that in this lifetime, the most that you wish to do with your knowledge and recognition of natural medicine, homeopathic medicine, your healing touch, your ability to put healing into things very naturally, especially food, is with your loved ones and family, then that is fantastic, my darlings. That is wonderful. That is what you have chosen to do, and that is what you are meant to do. You are meant to make this decision. Whatever you do with it is in your hands, and whatever you choose will be perfect, my darling. So no pressure, no worries. Do not stress. Trust yourself most of all. What is that sound? Loudest sound in the world. Sorry, the pipes in my house are 1,000 years old, so anytime anyone turns on a faucet, it sounds like a waterfall's just broken through every wall in the building. Anyway, but yeah, it's, you feel called to do this, so definitely explore it more, as you want to, my darlings, but don't feel pressure. Don't feel like you're failing yourself in any way, because you're not. Like, this is something that you will carry with you through more lifetimes as well. This ability to heal, this power of heal has very much been gifted to you for a reason. Some of you may also be in the medical field or wanting to endeavor in the medical field. We have love begins. We have mental conflict. I knew you were coming out. I saw you in my mind. And then we have temptation. Yes. Okay, we're getting a lot of keys. A lot of keys, a lot of things being held back. Okay, this makes sense. I'm like, why are we getting so much about love? Because I do see eventually a very, very significant connection for those of you who aren't already in a significant connection, coming in the next few months. Somebody who really aligns with your values and beliefs and passions as well. But this key is, she's striking me as a little bit strange. I'm like, what's going on here? Yes, spirit confirming very, very clearly to not allow other people to influence you so much, my darlings. I feel as though that's something that you struggled with a lot in this current life, is the opinions of others, even the perceptions of others that you place on them. People don't have to say anything, but I feel like it even went back to school ages where, you know, if you took out a lunch and people like made a look, like if you had an egg salad sandwich or something that had, like, you know, a scent that people could smell, you know, soup or a dish that people could smell, and, you know, someone in class like looked at you, they wouldn't have to say anything for you to be like, oh my God, they think I'm disgusting, I need to put this away and throw it in the garbage. And sometimes sometimes kids in school can be nasty, my darlings, but also sometimes people are just looking at you, and you've really kind of silenced yourself a lot and held yourself back in a lot of ways in that same energy of being very, very overly cautious, very fearful, very anxious of how people perceive you and their perception of you. And that is not jiving with this past life energy, my darling, who was a very confident, very sure person, a person who was actively sought out by the highest powers in the area of which they resided in. And their word was not doubted, and their actions were not doubted, and they were not doubted. And that doesn't have to come from anyone except for you, my loves. And I feel as though that's where this energy came from in this past life of all these others, is because you were the boss babies. You went in and did what you did, and you were certain of it, and you're like, no, I know this is going to work, I know this is going to help you. And that affirmation within yourself really helps strengthen your power. So a very strong message to reclaim that energy of sureness within yourself, and confidence within yourself, and security within yourself, and starting it bit by bit by bit, my darling. You know, really sort of focusing less on the eyes around you, focusing less on the energies around you, and focusing on your passions, what you know, what you feel, what you believe, and securing yourself in that way very much, my darlings. And I feel as though that really makes sense now for why Sacred Reverie and Love Begins are coming out, especially the fact that they're side by side. Yes, romance in the future, my darlings, as you need it. If you're in a romantic connection already, it will strengthen. If not, then someone coming forward. But this feels like a very much a reconnection of love of self. Because that bond in this past life particularly was so incredibly strong. The bond that you had with yourself, with the sureness of yourself, as well as with spirit, with your abilities. It was very much working in equals with spirit. It was very much, you know, we are working together for the same purpose, to heal, to guide, etc., etc., as opposed to you feeling anxious or unsure, or as though you know, weren't worthy, or as though you owed the divine something huge that you could never repay for bestowing that gift upon you, my darlings, which I feel as though that's the energy you're in this lifetime, and not the case, my darlings. You are divine. You're divine. You're the healer. You're wonderful. Your hands are magic. Okay. What have we pulled so far? I'm getting lost. All right, let's pull some energy oracle, and then I want to pull bird messages, and I have a new winter animal deck, which is very fitting for this sort of Nordic energy that I'm seeing. Could be Norway, Sweden, Iceland, I'm seeing Finland in particular. Did I say Norway? as well as northern, like very, very, very much northern, northern Canada. Tibet, I think. That kind of like very, very, very much northern. Is it northern Asia? I suppose it would be northern. North is cold, right? Like Serbia, I want to say. And it feels like this was, I'm seeing a very weirdly specific number, between 275 and 328 years ago for you guys. And what is going on here? Okay. Shuffle. Beautiful life, though. I feel like you guys also, I'm seeing, we have cornucopia. That's beautiful. 2s and 11s and 1s as well, my darlings. We have man holding a heart. My goodness gracious. Spirit says, you thought we weren't going to talk about romance, but ha ha ha, take this. This is a very, 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 very special card, regardless of the gender that you're seeking out or that you're interested in. This card very seldom comes out. When it does, it is the real deal. Also means romance is very close. And we have Door to Spirit. Beautiful confirmation that that Spirit is right here with you. Your guides, your people, your loved ones, your energies that you had in this past life are with you now, and really wanting you to reconnect fully with this significant past life for you, my darlings. Cornucopia, I feel like the next 2 years specifically, 2 to 3 years, I mean, they're all going to be good, my darlings, but the next 2-3 years specifically on this journey are going to be fantastic for you. So many opportunities are going to open up. So many dreams are going to be not only realized, but acted upon and achieved. And then man holding a heart, there is a very, very significant romantic prospect, your forever person, your soulmate. The fact that it's coming up so much in this reading, and I just got a little tap on my head when I felt this as confirmation, but the fact that this is coming up so much in this reading feels as though this partner is a soulmate, very strong soulmate, past life connection that you had in this past life, who you are reconnecting with in this life, which would make a lot of sense. The fact that I feel you meeting them, the majority of you meeting them as you farther your endeavor into reconnecting with your soul energy, your soul purpose in this life, in connection to your past life. For those of you that are with somebody, I feel as though you're with somebody who you feel is your true through and through soulmate. No doubt, no question. This is your person. This is what people write songs, stories, movies, plays about, this kind of connection. And this is your confirmation that yes, this is fully your soulmate. This person is fully supporting you, fully with you on this journey, and the two of you as well on this journey together will very much be able to reconnect to memories. So 2s, 222s, 22s, 1, 111, 11s, and 1111 confirmation messages, my darlings. Very beautiful stuff. Did we get 45 twice? No, we got 43, 47, and then 45. Okay. Feels like this person is a little bit older, not hugely significant, but enough that like when people find out, they're like, which like the connection is real. It's good, my darlings. Don't even worry about it, my loves. Don't stop worrying about what people think. How you feel takes priority for you, my darling. And because you know that's true, because you're so thoughtful of others, you're so empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate, that your heart will always be with others. So you're allowed to give yourself that much affection and thought and attention inward as you do outward. Also, for those of you who are already in a connection with this person, in the next 2 to 3 years, the relationship is very much going to make advances. Engagement, marriage, those of you that want kids, gonna have kids, gonna buy a house, gonna move. Significant milestones achieved in the next 2 to 3 years, my darlings. Okay. Yeah, let's pull I think it's called Winter Animals. The box is too far away and my legally blind ass can't see. But deck's in the description always. Okay. We have Crane, Watchfulness, and we have Doe, Caution. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah, so the choices that you make inevitably, especially with the Seven of Cups, the choices that you make and the actions that you take and what you go forward with, you will be supported in. Granted, now as you speak of it or have done, there are people who are hesitant solely out of caution for you, my darling, solely out of wanting to protect you and care for you in a very kind of somewhat overprotective way. Only out of love, though. And whatever you decide to do and whatever you decide to go forward with, you will be supported fully. And confirmation that the choice is yours. So do not hold yourself back for the sake of those around you, for the sake of their, caution, their protection. Choose what you feel called to choose, act on what you feel called to act upon, and you will be fully supported, my darling. Also confirmation that you are very much watched over by spirit. All right, my loves, last but not least, let's get some bird messages. Birds feel very prevalent in your life. You could get feathers as synchronicities. Okay, we have Secretary Bird, be rid of your enemies. Yes. We have Western Bluebird, lend a helping hand and never forget that spring will return. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. That's a very, very funnily specific message too, especially because I feel like a lot of the concern that you're receiving from family members, from loved ones, is that you're wanting to go somewhere that's cold or that's snowy, and it's like, don't worry, snow isn't forever. We have the Vogelkop Bowerbird. Appearances can be deceptive, and we have Bird of Paradise. Oh, they're the ones that do the funky dance. Display yourself to advantage. This is no time for false modesty. Oh, I love those videos where they're doing the funky dances. I know it's like bird saucy time, but the fact that they just move so groovy. Okay. Be rid of your enemies feels, yeah, very much confirmation for what we were talking about earlier about your fearful perception of those around you, their judgments, their criticisms. Not even just negative people in your life, but everyone. Very much feeling the need to please those people, very much feeling the need to walk on eggshells around those people, to be perceived in a way that is pleasant. But you can't constantly morph yourself for every single individual that you interact with in your daily life, my darling. That's very, very unfair to you and the authentic version of yourself that deserves to be shown, that is worthy of being shown, that is wonderful. Your energy is magnificent. You're loving, you're compassionate, you're nurturing, you're caring, you're talented. You are divine through and through, my darlings, and that deserves to be shown off. Lend a helping hand. Never forget that spring will return. Absolutely. Absolutely. Snow will melt. I feel like that's also a confirmation that there's no rush for this. 2 to 3 years, very wonderful things are happening, but there is no specific timeline. You can always decide when the new beginning will happen. Spring is all about new beginnings. It's all about regeneration, rebirth, renewal. You can have that anytime that you want, my darlings. Do not put so much pressure on yourselves. Yeah. Really step into your power as well. Meditation can help. Also really allowing yourself to dive head deep into research into natural homeopathic medicines as you see fit, recipes as well. I feel like there's like a long list of recipes you wanted to try. You feel very called to experimenting with recipes, different herbs, different flowers, different colors utilized within them for different healing properties or different aspects. Very much endeavor in that, my darlings. I feel as though you will really absolutely have your calling, and you're gonna feel so good. It's gonna be so nice. This is so wonderfully magical. Very exciting stuff. Is there anything else? They give me a shiver and they tell me no. Group number 1, my darlings. I hope that you enjoy that. That is so cool. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. If you enjoyed that, if the reading resonated and my energy resonated and I can speak properly for more than 10 seconds, please subscribe. Also, if I can't speak properly for 10 seconds, please consider subscribing. All of my links for social media, even though I only use Instagram and at that barely, are down below, as well as more information for private readings down in the description as well. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all. Bye-bye. Hello, my loves. If you picked this gorgeous card, I'll bring it up so you can see it better. Lost and Found. Beautiful, beautiful. This is your reading on a significant past life that you have had and what experiences or lessons you have in this life that are connected to that past life. Or at the very least, what guidance you need from a past self, a past life in this life. This is very interesting. Lost and Found. It really feels like you are really actively seeking out answers and have been for quite some time. I feel as though you've even done a lot of, or, at least started to do like past life meditations or past life, recognition music while you sleep, etc., 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 or while you meditate, and you feel a very strong call to a significant past life. I feel like you even feel like you have memories that don't belong to you. They do, but not in this lifetime, that you'll bring up. I feel like that's even like a favorite story of your parents or grandparents to share at like family gatherings. Is like, oh, they used to tell this story about blah 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 blah, and it was like this vivid description of a life experience you had had as a past life, but you were like 4. So how would you know that? How would you make that up? Excuse the very loud airplane outside. Felt like it was landing on my fucking roof. Anyway, and that, how would you know that? How would you be able to describe the things you've described? So you have a very strong connection to this past life. It has dimmed as you've gotten older, as you've been less able to tune into it, but you still feel the call of it. It feels like, especially now, you really want the answers that it can provide. You want the guidance, you want the insight. You know that it's there, you just don't know how to tap into it. But really, my darlings, I mean, here it's a gate, but there's nothing else preventing her from going forward, going around it. So really, it's mental blockages. It's a sense of convincing yourself that you are seeking out something that isn't actually there, that you're seeking out memories, that you're seeking out a past life that didn't actually exist, and really holding yourself back in a form of hesitancy. So confirmations in today's reading, my darling, will hopefully allow you to open that gate and or go around it and fully tap into this past life you want answers so desperately from. We have from the 7 Energies Oracle of the 7 Energies, in perfect harmony and a deep breath. Yes, beautiful. Okay, so 1s, 11s, and 7s, synchronicity, your synchronicities from spirit, angel numbers from spirit, however you refer to them, confirmations, signs, etc., etc., etc. Meditation really is the way to go, my darlings. Meditation, absolutely the way to go. It's very funny that we got in perfect harmony and a deep breath when we were talking about music and meditations. I feel as though opposed to during sleep, because I feel like you have dreams that you want to have, but then don't actively remember them well enough in the morning, so it just makes you feel more frustrated. Playing music while you meditate, guided meditations. Guided meditations are really the way to go for you, my darlings, because there's so much vividness that you want to see. There's so much that you want to experience. Um, it's a very, very beautiful, very peaceful life. And I feel like that energy really, really beckons to you um, in this lifetime. I am seeing Greece, I'm seeing France, I'm seeing Italy, I'm seeing England, I'm seeing Ireland, I'm seeing Scotland, I'm seeing Canada, I'm seeing America, I am seeing not Australia, because I feel like this was before Australia. Um, um, I'm seeing a lot of fields. I'm seeing a lot of greenery. I'm seeing a lot of rolling hills. I'm seeing very, 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 very spread apart people. People with a lot of land around them, a lot of farmland, a lot of nature, a lot of peacefulness. I'm seeing very small little stone houses that are genuinely very cold but feel so warm and loving because of the energy within them. I'm seeing people. Um, oh, this might. Okay. If you're sensitive to anything in regards to animals being utilized as food, cover your ears for the next 15 seconds. I'll do this when you can uncover your ears, okay? I'll do this. I'm seeing people like bringing animals in that they have hunted and, utilizing them for food. Jazz hands. Safety jazz hands. Woo. Um, and like that kind of thing, people making bread, like it's very, very quiet, very peaceful, very beautiful. I can hear someone being like, some people might call it dull, but it's life. People reading very peacefully, not having a ton of money by any means, but full hearts and total warmth and total happiness and a very wonderful family life. It did feel um as though you were in place of like a caretaker role as well, so it feels like you were like the oldest sibling. um can I get a number? So you were the oldest of 8 siblings. um they say 8 to 12. um and there's a very pleasant mother and a very pleasant father. It does feel as though the father and mother were quite a bit older than you. And I can hear someone saying miracle baby, so it feels like they kind of struggled a bit to conceive. And I do feel as though there were some losses of pregnancies, and then you came along, and then once you were born, it was just poo 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 for the other siblings. So you're very much the leader, the caretaker, the kind of like, I can hear someone telling me, a very young male voice telling me, you were the one that looked for the monsters under the bed, kind of a thing. Looked for the boogeyman under the bed, which is very sweet. Okay, let's pull this psychic tarot oracle. See what we get. This is very lovely, very warm, very cozy, and it feels, as I said, like you really are calling back to that life, because I feel like you guys are just in desperate need of some peace and some solitude. And it feels like, I think you really have carried on to this life, like just not really caring about monetary things, not really caring about, the newest technology or the newest this or the newest that. Very content with what you have. Very connected to antique things, like going to antique stores, vintage stores, thrift stores. Very connected to things with a story, with age. I also feel like you are very Oh, I know there's a particular name for these kinds of influencers, but they're like the ones who, buy the old clothes and do like the hairstyles and the makeup of people from, centuries ago, or decades ago even. It does feel as though this lifetime was not. Mm, it feels this is a very, 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 very lengthy chunk of time. Um, 1795 to 1902 is what this feels like. But very, 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 very small town, very country. So I think that's why the kind of energy is very similar, despite how in the more, populated areas in the cities, things were changing more than they were in your quiet little farm city town. So we have triumph, number 7 again, confirmation. We have victory and success, and we have foundation and achievements. Oh, and this even looks like kind of a little bit different, but kind of, the idea, cute little house. Oh, the one that I see are more stone, more rock, and very like one level, kind of like just a couple rooms between them. But very much that's what it feels like. And you guys, you want that peace and that serenity, and especially you've always been very connected to having a very close knit family, and I feel as though some of you have always wanted a sibling. You could be only siblings. um some of you could come from single parent homes and just have had, the ideology of having, two secure, loving parents. And I feel as though for those of you who had a single parent home, it was extremely loving and extremely nurturing. Still is, continues to be. But um, just, this ideology of like I was going to say classic Disney family, but Disney always has got a weird thing with mothers being alive for too long. So anyway, it's neither here nor there. And yeah, you guys love watching. I feel like you love watching, like, the Pride and Prejudice-esque movies. You love your vintage or antique influencers. You just really feel at home. I feel like you guys are akin to the phrase, I was born in the wrong century. Which, in a lot of ways we've progressed. But I understand, it would be nice to make bread on a wood stove. I can get that, right? And yeah, you feel called back to that life, that sense of peace. And it feels like, especially in times of stress, or in times of difficulty, that this life really calls you back. And you can't quite get a grasp on it. And excuse me for rattling the whole table. Yeah, and you guys have tried to keep busy, because I feel like this life was very busy. There were a lot of things to do, a lot of chores, a lot of activities, a lot of upkeep, a lot of maintenance that needed to be done. And so you try and keep busy in this life, but you're like, this is the wrong kind of busy, and it kind of makes you restless and uninspired. I feel like I'm seeing something to do with like studying or knowing more about antique items, like possibly having like opening a small business that specializes specifically in antique jewelry, and like finding out the stories of this jewelry and the stories of these people or these clothes or these things, and selling them. Like, not I feel like you guys are very against the trend of like people going to a thrift store or something, or an antique store, and buying something and making it like more modern. Which, there's a lot of issues with that, with, taking advantage of prices at a thrift store, causing the prices at the thrift store to go up. And then people who need the thrift store, whose only option is the thrift store, can't utilize the thrift store. But, it's my Aquarius rising call for justice. This is too many. I am not taking all of these. And put it, can you put two back, please? Top two? Okay, thank you. Um, so not that, but something along the lines of like allowing you to connect with history and with dates and with locations and feeling very connected that way. I also feel like you're going to become able to really feel the energy of the people whose jewelry or clothes or items that you are selling. I feel like eventually you also are able to open a brick and mortar antique store. And like I feel like right now you live in a like either suburbs or a more significant city, but I do feel as though you're quite close to a very cute like small town that people love to tour in, you know, all the little cute gift shops and the antique shops and everything like that, and you just love that place. You just love being there. You feel totally at home there. I do see you ending up there with your brick and mortar store. We have the High Priestess, absolutely. We have the Magician, this is gorgeous, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to scream. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Goodness gracious. 2, 1, and 10. The fact that we got Roman numeral 2. Just, oof, this is divine. This is divine. I feel your parents from this past life with you. I feel them so closely with you, as well as some of your family members, especially that young male voice that I picked up on earlier. So much affection for you. I'm hearing baby of the family, so the youngest, that you had a very nurturing energy over, very caring energy. They very much looked up to you. Absolutely. This is so gorgeous. You are very, very right to tap into this life, my darling. There are wonderful things that are going to come from this. Absolute dreams come true, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of wholeness, a sense of self. Um, really good really good financial security as well, which again, I know doesn't matter to you, but it's nice because it's financial security that comes from something that you're so passionate about, that comes from living a dream. A lot of insight given to you through your meditations as well. And as I said, you're going to be able to really pick up on the energies coming through eventually with your hands. You're going to be able to start. It's all very pleasant, by the way. It's not. There's nothing spooky. You know, keep it cleansed. Keep some selenite lamps on in the antique store. But no, all very, very warm. You're going to get a lot of energies that are so happy to have their items shared. I remember a few years ago, where am I putting you? I'm going to put you over here. Okay, for the Energy Oracle, we have the Sun, another one. And then we have Community. Oh, this is gorgeous. 7 as well. Did I say 7 was one of your angel numbers? I think I did. Did I? Yes. Beautiful. Confirmation. Oh my God. Ha! Quite a few years ago, there's this very, very, very beautiful tourist town a few hours from where I live, and fantastic antique store run by this fabulous older British woman. Oh, it had a really cute name. I can't remember what the name was. It wasn't Bits and Bobs. Something like that, but more cute and silly. Very sweet. Her and her husband, absolute darlings. And there was this beautiful sterling silver locket that I don't have anywhere close to me, or I would show you. Um, and I was completely enamored with it, but I was also a very, very, new, youngish single mother who couldn't afford to spend a few hundred on a very beautiful sterling silver antique necklace. But I just couldn't stop thinking about it. We were at this hotel for 3 or 4 days, and it was on my mind constantly, and there was something about the energy of it. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I kept having dreams about my grandmother who had passed away, who, was showing me the necklace, and I was like, okay, I think I need this necklace. So I scraped up every little last penny I could after buying my daughter some little knickknacks and hotels and food and so forth. And I think I had to borrow $15 from my mother to afford it, and bought it. And the woman at the shop was so excited. She's like, oh, she's like, I've had this necklace for quite a while, and I, would have people look at it, but sometimes I would say it was on hold if I didn't feel they were the right one to get it. And the woman who sold it to me when she was 96, and she passed away a few months later, and she didn't have any children, any family members who would be interested in it. It was just her husband passed away a few decades ago, and she really wanted someone to have it who would appreciate it, who would love it, who would take care of it, who would carry on the energy of it. And described the woman, and she was the woman that I was dreaming about, that I perceived as my grandmother. Weirdly, they looked exactly almost the same. Cliche grandmother things, and yeah. And so that kind of energy, and I love that necklace. I wear that necklace all the time. People always comment on it. I have pictures of my daughter in the locket. I love that necklace. That necklace is so special to me. So that is what I see you pursuing and doing so well. It is sharing these stories, sharing these energies of people who really want their items and their energies to be carried on and shared and utilized in the present and in the future. It's gorgeous stuff, my darlings. I also feel as though you have some friends, close friends, a small circle around you who, or even parent, parent sibling, who really are into this endeavor. When you start talking about it, when you bring it up, they're very, very, very impassioned by it. They want to do it with you. Could also allow you to utilize a bit more finances. Okay, we have for the new, I don't remember what this is called. Winter Animals, I think, Oracle. Oh, that's funny. These exact same cards came out in the last reading. We have Doe, Caution, and Crane, Watchfulness. Crane Watchfulness feels like it resonates with the same message it had in the last reading of very, very, very close divine energies around you. Spirit is very close to you, very much guiding you towards this. And that feels actually what the doe represents as well. The baby deer don't go anywhere without the doe going ahead, and they follow. And it feels like your parental energies from this past life have very much guided you back towards it again, because you've been yearning for it. You really you want to reconnect with it. You feel called to it. You want that peacefulness. It matters to you that the stories of things that have existed in the past continue. Your history buffs, your documentary buffs, you are period piece buffs. There's stories that have existed for centuries and beyond, and through all of time, and you feel as though if you have the ability to carry those stories on, then you should do that. And that is wonderful energy, my darlings. All right, last but not least, my loves, we're going to get some bird messages. This is so cool. This is so exciting. Oh, I feel as though there's something to do with your hair as well. I feel like in this lifetime, you are very into your hair. People comment on your hair a lot. You like changing your hair a lot. Your hair is very noticeable, very different. And I feel as though that's popping out and connecting with this past life with me as well, where you had a very striking color of hair. Obviously, this was a time when people, weren't dyeing their hair lilac and chartreuse, but, striking color naturally, which is a very, very beautiful thing to carry forward into this life. I also feel like when you are working at opening this antique shop, which I see very, very clearly happening, as you're, setting it up and refurbishing it, as you're opening it, and on opening day, you get rainbows as confirmations. Very significant rainbows. We have Blackbird, open to psychic awareness to recognize portents of the future. Ooh, yes. Tap into that intuition, my babies. And we have the Hoatzin, flourish through maintaining tradition. Gorgeous confirmations. This, oh my God, Spirit loves loves this deck. They really take it to the top and then some when it comes to this deck. Beautiful, my darlings. Absolutely tap into to that intuition. I feel as though you're being called to meditate, one, to connect to this past life, but I feel as though that's also strengthening your psychic abilities, which is then going to allow you to be able to feel the energies more clearly, increase your mediumship even abilities of these items that you're going to be selling. This is so exciting, so gorgeous, very good things. Called to this for a reason, my darling. It's beautiful. You really find your community through this as well, which I feel like is something that you've always been actively seeking, which would make a lot of sense with the, yearning for siblings, etc., etc., etc. Really helps you solidify your space, especially for those of you that start an online store first, which I feel is the majority of you who pursue this. Don't go straight to a brick and mortar. It's online, and distributing online content pertaining to your store and what you sell and what you do, and you really find your niche. You really connect with people through that. It's very exciting, my darling. Very beautiful stuff. You really you find your people, you find your purpose, and you get to live it out. It's very exciting. Very big changes coming, my darling. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Opportunity as well for money that allows you to jumpstart this in the next 7 to 11 months. I'm seeing, my darlings, a significant amount of money coming your way as a gift. Is there anything else to give me a shiver? And they tell me no. All right, my loves. I hope that you enjoy that. That is so cool. Oh, God. I love past life readings. I love them. I love them so much. So grateful to be able to do this. If you enjoyed that, please let me know by leaving a comment, my darlings. I would love to hear from you. I would love to speak with you. If the reading resonated, my energy resonated, please subscribe. All of the links for social media and more information on private readings are down in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all. Bye. Hello, 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 my beautiful darlings. If you picked this gorgeous card, lesson, this is your reading on a significant past life and what lessons, experiences in this life pertain to it. Messages you need to hear, confirmations you need to hear about a significant past life. The first two readings were very, very, very different in a lot of ways, but the energy was very similar. Very exciting stuff. Love doing past life readings. I hope to be able to do a lot more. For the Oracle of the Seven Energies, my loves, we have the Land Between, and it is what it is. Okay, this is fun. Ooh. Ooh. Hoo, 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 hoo. Okay. So I'm picking up on I feel as though you were the children of someone who was very important, very respected. I'm seeing soothsayers. I'm seeing medicine people. I'm seeing oracles. I'm seeing diviners. I'm seeing priests and priestesses. People who are very, very spiritually influential as your parents. I do see you being guided in the ways of which they practiced, those abilities being shared with you. However, it feels like I keep hearing sacred. So there's like a sacred energy. I'm seeing, I'm seeing so many places, so many, so many, so many places. Oh, and I can see a map, and I can see a hand just going over it like it's vast. So many places, so it feels like the place isn't as specific as who you were, who your family was, and your experiences, because it just feels like this spans globally. This does feel like, oh, can I get a number, please, Spirit? I'm seeing 1,206 to 3,016 years ago. Is that right? Oh, they give me a shiver and they tell me yes. So a very, vast expansion of time. And they keep telling me the story. They're like, the story is what matters, which is interesting because we got pretty specific places and times for the last two readings. But yeah, I'm seeing a very like ornate houses, temples, um, important places where people would go for spiritual guidance, to pray, to seek out the divine. And you had a parent who was this divine, or this guide, this spiritual voice for the people of your community, and you were being guided in that way, so you became respected in the way that your parent did as well. And it feels as though because of that you were considered sacred. um and it feels like they're showing me this whole process of how you were meant to find a partner, and you know how that partner was meant to be selected because they had to be, you know, equally divine, and create, you know, I feel that they're showing me one finger, so I feel as though there was allowed to be one child. And then that it was believed that, you know, the spiritual connection would pass down to this one child. They're telling me, you know, it was believed that if you had more than one child, the spiritual connection would be diluted through the children, and it wouldn't be strong enough to utilize fully for the community. And you said farts to that. I and you met somebody, and it's we're getting star-crossed lovers, and it feels like somebody from outside of your community, outside of your, you know, your area, that you met on pure happenstance and were able to build a connection with. And it felt very hush hush. It was very, you know, sneaking out in the night. It was very, you know, going way 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 away, to spend just a little bit of time together before you had to go back. They had to go back before you were found out. And this was a very big deal. This person was really risking it for the biscuit, um, to be with you and to have this connection with you, because um, I want to pull this psychic tarot of the heart, because you were sacred and it was not allowed. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Whew, the energies here are strong. I could tell that when I was getting your cards to do the reading, and my nose got itchy. We have foundation and achievements, victory and success, and triumph. These cards just came up exactly in the last reading as well. This person, you know, was warned, and I don't feel as though you were completely open with them about who you were, because feels very much like it was an escape to be with them. It feels like it was something that, you know, you felt safe hiding. You're like, they'll never, you know, will never be found out, will never be discovered, they will never be in any kind of danger. But I feel as though their community found out and were absolutely gobsmacked. They're like, no, you can't spend time with this person, you can't have a connection with this person, you will not make it out of this alive if you're discovered. And the power of love, my darlings, it does feel as though you were a bit younger, not 13, this isn't Romeo and Juliet, but you know, a little bit fresh in your adulthood. So still in, you know, your adulthood, what was considered adulthood at this point in time, which was still quite young, I believe. But, you know, mature. And this person had a lot of maturity. You had a lot of maturity as well. And you wanted the escape. You want, like, this just feels like running. You wanted to get away from it. You didn't want to be held up in this life that you didn't get to choose, that you had no say in. You wanted to be able to have the connection with this person, and this person made you feel good and made you feel loved and made you feel cared about, and you wanted to be with this person. And you didn't see anything wrong with that, and you were fully devoted to running away with them. Fully devoted to running away with them, fully devoted to being with them, fully devoted to leaving behind everything that you had known and built, and what was your sacred birthright, finger quotes. And it feels like you were found out but it feels like you were found out after you had already decided the fact that you would be leaving. Um, and I think you were, tried to be held back. It's all very dramatic. This person, I think, was threatened, but because they were still quite young, it was like they were, put in harm's way pretty bad. But it's like, this isn't the worst that we're gonna do to you. But if we see you again, the worst that we're gonna do to you is what we're gonna be doing to you. Ooh. And you said no, and you felt awful, and you snuck out to them again, and they were in a bad way, and it just broke your heart, and it really solidified the fact that, why am I pulling these? Okay. Nothing is coincidence. It really solidified the fact that you didn't want to be part of this life anymore. The fact that the people in your community could do that to somebody that you loved so much, the fact that they could disregard love so much when, they talked so much about love, and they talked about, divination and all this, and connecting with the divine and so forth and so on. The fact that they could do this to somebody that you cared so much about was not okay with you. So I do feel as though you both ran away. You ran away completely. They ran away as well from their community, from everything that they had known, everything that you had known, and it feels like a total, complete new life. I also feel as though we have rat fear, we have salamander fire, yes, the passion, and we have badger dig. Okay, yes, yeah. Feels as though one of the two of you was pregnant. I feel as though a majority of you had the feminine energy in this lifetime. Yeah, they're telling me yes, because I feel as though your mother was the diviner and the daughter, and then down the line, two daughters. But yeah, pregnant, and you didn't want anything to ruin that. You were very happy, very content, very willing to risk everything for the sake of your cute, where is it? Cute, sweet, tiny, growing family. All right, now let's pull the Tarot of the Divine. And so we're getting a lot about this past life. Okay, I see. I feel as though a lot of you are in a connection, have been in a connection, or are just starting a connection with somewhat of the same energies. I feel as though you have met somebody or have been with somebody, and they are just not received well by your family, by your friends. We have the Knight of Wands, we have the Star, and we have the Six of Swords. Okay, gorgeous confirmations. Thank you, Spirit. Not received well, and it could be that your family is a bit more old-fashioned, and there's cultural significance that they feel is too different between you both. It could be your partner's appearance. It could be what they do for a living. It could be even just the fact that they have tattoos or piercings, and just very, very, very base judgment. I do feel as though you're with somebody wonderful. You're with somebody who loves you completely. You're with somebody who cares about you so very, very, very deeply. You are with a wonderful, wonderful person, and you recognize that, and you feel there's a lot of upset. There's a lot of difficulty because you don't want to let this person go. You don't want to have to be without this person, because there's no valid reason for you to be without this person. They've done nothing. They've shown you nothing that proves that they are unworthy of being with you. But at the same time, you don't want to lose the people that you care about. But at the same time, you're having a difficulty because if the people care about you and love you, then why can't they be happy for your happiness? And it feels like there's this very strong inner voice of this energy of this past life that truthfully, through and through, risked it all, gave up everything. And I'm not saying that is the choice for you, my darlings, but I am saying that this is the energy of this past self that gave up everything for the sake of, it wasn't even a matter of the sake of their love. It was a matter of, you know, them feeling as though they weren't given a choice. So there was only one choice. And I do feel as though this is something that will tide over. You two aren't going to be, you know, chased down. You aren't going to be, you know, nothing bad is going to happen. I do feel as though there's going to be a period of time where you are in separation, at the very least emotionally, from the people that do not agree with your relationship. However, the people that love you do love you. And when they see that you have chosen happiness, that you have chosen somebody who values you, who respects you, who cares about you, it feels as though a lot of them are hung up on another partner that you've had, or a potential partner who is more fitting into their, you know, set out shape that they've made. And you're like, no, 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 that's not for me. So when they see that you're a much better fit with this person is so soft and loving and wonderful and caring and gorgeous and just loves you to the fucking moon and back. When they see that you are happy, but also that you're willing to fight for this relationship, to fight for this love, fight for this connection, they are happy for your happiness, and they are more willing to accept your happiness. And so it's very important to set those boundaries, because I don't feel as though it's a matter of, you know, them being like, oh, you showed us and now we see this is good, because, you know, the bruises are still fresh, the wounds are still healing, they still, you know, put you in this precarious position that you didn't want to be in, and told them that you didn't want to be in. So it does take time, and you do set those boundaries, draw a very firm line in the sand, build a brick wall on top of that line, and it will heal and it will get better. But it feels like this past life is jumping forward for a good reason. We have victory on top of the other card. We got triumph. Yeah, so it feels like you really come out of this in a good way. And then we have action, as well as the Knight of Wands. Yeah, it feels like you're going the right way. You're going where you're meant to go. You are meant to be separate from this situation right now. And it's, you know, unfortunate, my darling, and it's not fair, and it's not what's meant to be, but it's what you want, and it's what's best for you. And the circle will get smaller, but the smaller circle will be purely good and supportive and warm and healing and loving. And that is what you deserve. And then it is completely in your hands. If at a later date, I do feel as though the people who have, you know, made their voices loudly heard come to you with an apology and come to you with remorse, it is up to you whether or not you forgive them at that time or at all. It is not in their hands, my darling. It is in your hands, but you are making the right decision. Confirmation through and through, from Spirit as well, that this person is a fully good person. Okay, we already pulled the winter animal, so let's look into the bird messages. For those of you that are not in a romantic connection right now, I feel as though this could pertain to a soon coming romantic connection, or it could pertain to 1, 2, or 3. 2? Okay. Pertain to a life choice that you're making. So a work position, or a place that you're moving to, a friend that you're living with, a decision where people are like, no, 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 this is wrong and bad. And you're like, no, this is right. This is good. This feels right. This is what is meant for me. This is what is good for me. And I feel as though the power of this past life energy is really coming through strong just to remind you to be in your power. Triumph and victory coming through, absolutely gorgeous. And I think that's why we didn't really get the specifics of, place or this or that. We got, time, and we got really the story and the energy, because that's what took prevalence, and that's what matters, is reclaiming your power through that life, and trusting yourself, trusting your gut instinct. You have a very good gut instinct. You are very, 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 very strong-willed people, and it is all for good reason, my darlings. We have the blue mannequin, patience brings rewards, absolutely. And we have the painted stork, parenthood and caring for family brings much joy. Oh, that's gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Okay, some of you also could be pregnant or have a partner who is pregnant, and that is perhaps not approved by the family. But it feels like, yeah, just decisions that feel good and right to you, and are good and right. Confirmation through spirit that these are good and right decisions, but also things that, the negativity has no place in the space that you're creating and have created right now. And so set those boundaries, separate yourselves from the people that are saying, this is bad or this isn't okay. Trust yourselves, my darlings, in the way that you feel, and know that that takes prevalence, and everything else will sort itself out on your terms, my loves. People will come around, and then it is in your hands, my darlings, whether or not you accept their apologies or not. Is there anything else to give me a shiver and they tell me no? Oh, the power in that energy. A lot of fire energy. I think we got one of the animal cards was fire. Yeah, salamander fire. A lot of passionate energy, a lot of intense energy, a lot of like almost stubborn, but only in a good way. Stubborn for the right reasons, I'm hearing. Energy from that reading, my darlings. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you did, please let me know by leaving a comment. Would love to talk to you. Love to hear from you. All of my links. Nope, I skipped one. What did I skip? I skipped. If the reading resonated and my energy resonated, please subscribe. All of my links for social media and more information on private readings are down in the description box below. Thank you so much for being here with me. I love you all. Bye. Hello, 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 my beautiful darlings. Last but definitely not least, if you picked this gorgeous Lucidity card, thank you to the sun for coming out right before this reading, by the way. It's been very dark and cloudy the last few readings. This is your reading on a significant past life and what experiences or lessons it has brought into this life, explanations and messages for experiences you're going through in this life from a significant past life. Very different for each reading, my darling. I'm very, very excited. I do feel off the bat that you are somebody who has extremely vivid dreams. I feel as though you've had a lot of experiences of a past life through your dreams. I feel as though they've gone back to childhood. This message came up in another reading, either number 2 or number 3. But there are memories that you have that don't have a place in this lifetime, but they're memories that you have, and you talk about them and have brought them up, and sometimes will to your parents or something, and you'll get these kind of weird looks like, no, that never happened, and you're like, well, no, I'm sure it did. Like, I know it happened. I didn't just make it up. Very vivid dreams. Very, very cool stuff. We have opening to discovery for the Oracle of the Seven Energies, and we have time machine. Yes, yeah. So you are able to really bounce back and forth. And sometimes that can really make you feel kind of disoriented when you wake up. You feel kind of groggy. You feel I feel like you're the type of person who you can't get up too fast, or you get like the spins, you get like head rushes. And it's just, yeah, you're transporting back and forth in this time frame, in your dreams, in the lucid dreams, and you're able to relive experiences so vividly that it gives you this like intense head rush when you get up. And grounding yourself, I feel, is really important, my darlings. If you're able, sleeping with a window open, just a crack, just to like clear the energy a little bit. Himalayan salt lamp, amethyst lamp, which can be a little bit expensive, selenite lamp, even just any light, even just like a night light, cleansing with incense, or at the very least like lighting a candle when you wake up, just to kind of switch up the energy in the room, clear out the energy a little bit, because it gets very stuffy. It's very, very stagnant. Having crystals to ground yourself: selenite, clear quartz, smoky quartz, amethyst. What else is grounding? Having a plant in your room as well, I'm hearing. Real plant, not plastic. Specifically, Spirit had to jump that in, so I feel like you have a penchant for fake plants. Okay, what are we pulling next? We're gonna pull the... I'm seeing a very intense life, a very vivacious life, a very vavavoom life. This is one of the only lives, past lives. One we got was in the very, 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 very early 1900s, but this is feeling more like 1930s to 1960s, early 1960s. So a tighter kind of timeline too than we've gotten in the other readings. Feels very, very va-va-voom, yeah, but also like, I don't know, there's this sense of like secrecy, a sense of like being different than how people perceive you, how people claim you to be. Something to do with something to do with a war, or like a well, no, not Secret Service. Are they called Secret Service everywhere? Like in Canada we have CSIS. In the States they have the CIA. Other places have other ones, I'm sure. I'm not educated enough on that. But that kind of energy. Okay, so there's like some espionage going on, but like only strictly for the good. You're really, 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 really helping people. And it feels like you've kind of almost gone against the grain of the instruction that you were given in order to help people. Very big sense for justice. I feel as though that really carries on into this life as well. I feel like you were the ones to kind of tell off the bullies in the schoolyard. If somebody was, treating somebody else quite poorly, you were the one to make sure that they knew that it wasn't okay. We have crown chakra. Yeah, you guys are, you are tapped in. Rejoice in celebration and rest and rejuvenation. Absolutely confirmation that grounding is very much needed, my darlings. But yeah, very big sense of justice. You guys could have always been impassioned by justice, impassioned by just watching, I'm seeing a lot of like cartoons. I'm seeing like Kim Possible. I'm seeing Inspector Gadget. I'm seeing the Power Rangers. I'm seeing Scooby-Doo's jumping out at me. I'm seeing like James Bond. I'm seeing Pink Panther. I'm seeing it was here and then it left. It was here and then it left. It was here and then it left. Oh, there were these Disney movies in like the early 2000s from that kid from Malcolm in the Middle, and he was like a spy. But yeah, just a fascination with, justice and media pertaining to justice. Could have wanted to be cops, lawyers, judges, paralegals, as well as, like, Secret Service agents, as well as, like more scientific aspects of justice, like forensic psychology, forensic analysis, etc., things like that. Just a very, very, very big fascination with justice, with proving, when things are wrong, and proving, the right aspect of things. But I also feel like you have, which is very interesting because a very similar flavor, as well as you had in this past life, where there's like a lot of disappointment in where you live now in the judicial system, in, the process of the judicial system, in the, lack of severity in certain, crimes and so on, or punishment for crimes, etc., 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 or like sentencing, so on and so forth. Like there's this kind of like, you feel very impassioned that not enough is being done. I feel as though you're also very present at like protests, at like just you are so driven by, you're like, it's very easy to define what is right and what is not right, and you are always on the side of what is right. Have a very good team around you, um, that share your same passions. Very tapped into this lifetime. Okay, let's pull. I want to pull from the. Do I want to pull from the Energy Oracle? No, I want to pull from the Tarot of the Divine. I want to get a little bit more about why this life has come up. But definitely needing to ground yourselves more, my darlings, because you are just feeling floaty, floaty, floaty. We have the King of Coins, King of Coins, King of Pentacles. We have the Fool, and we have the Queen of Cups. Ooh. Oh, ho, 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 ho. What's happening? Okay, 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 okay. What is going on? The secrecy within you guys. Okay, so it does feel like something new is starting. There is a new drive within you. It feels like you are just yearning for change, for new adventure, to go a new place, to experience something different. I feel as though, okay, she's coming in. I feel as though something in the last 1 to 2 years has occurred within where you're from, your city or your country, and there's a huge state of unrest, and there's violence, there's riots, there's increase in crime, there's unfairness, there's injustice surrounding you constantly where you're from, and you're just fed up, and you tried to participate in active change. You went to protests, you tried to, I feel like you lead a lot of protests as well, and things aren't changing or improving in the way that you want them to. This is very interesting because I got this message earlier today, I think before I even confirmed that I was doing this specific reading today, just feeling a very big loss of passion for where you live, and a loss of, is patriotism the right word, appreciation, I don't know, but just really feeling disconnected from a place that you once loved living in, you loved being in, loved being a part of, loved being from, and you feel that no more, and there are other places calling to you, there are other places that you are yearning for. And I feel as though you are really, really feeling the call of those other places. And I feel as though that draw is not for nothing. I do feel as though there are better opportunities and a better sense of self to reconnect with. In like, this is a big change. This isn't just moving a town over. This isn't moving. I feel some of you are switching up continents. Some of you are, moving halfway across the world or all the way across the world. Like, this is a big jump, a big change, a massive cultural shift. I mean, the King of Coins and the Queen of Cups, the fact that, ground and water, like, it's different. It is different. And this is very interesting. Oh, the imagery. It's very interesting that we have this depiction between them both. We're going from the King of Coins, earth energy, trees, nature, dirt, all that good stuff, and Little Mermaid on a rock. And then we have the water and Queen of Cups within the water. And so it's kind of that transition from one thing into something else. And I don't feel as though the places are very literally described with the elements of earth and water, but I feel as though the description and imagery of the divide is more significant here. And it does feel like this new place becomes very much home for you. It feels like this is really, really something that you're meant to follow through with. I mean, there's just so much concern and unhappiness and distress that you're feeling now. And it feels like that's why this energy of this past life has come through, because there's just, you can't sit with injustice peacefully. Um, and it feels like I'm hearing you can make more of an impact away from it. Um, and it feels like that's to do with kind of allowing where you move to have recognition in your firsthand experience of where you're coming from, and to bring attention to it that way and bring change through that attention. Okay, pull let's pull from the energy oracle now. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we have deceit, we have victory. Oh my goodness. Okay, and bottom or middle? Middle, okay. And we have action. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yeah, I feel like money is a bit of a concern moving to this new place, especially because it's such a significant difference. It's so different. You don't know if you're going to be able to obtain a job, if you're going to be able to afford living there, etc., etc., etc. I do see with victory and action confirmation that that will not be an issue, but I also am hearing Spirit giving the advice to secure a job before going there, because you're ready to leave post haste. You could be gone by within the next 3 hours if needed to be. But obtaining a job just to free yourself from that stress, and then everything really falls in line, and you really, yeah, this is so good, so good for you, so meant to be. And it really allows you to carry on the important connection you have with where you're from, where you grew up, what you know, and the significance of that, and the cultural aspects that are important to you and positive. But it allows you to leave a place that it doesn't feel like home anymore. That's what it comes down to. What have I not pulled? Okay, I want to pull the winter winter animal, winter guidance animal oracle. It's new. I'm very excited. It's beautiful imagery. Let's see what we get through that. Okay, we have raven, death, and fox, cunning. Yes, you to get the fox in like an espionage vibe reading. Oof, 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 oof. This really feels like a matter of you knowing, and have known in past lives as well, knowing more than you let on. You're very, very good at keeping secrets, yourselves and others, and really good. Just, yeah, so good at just being where people don't even fully know you're there. Very, very perceptive. Death really confirms, along with the Fool, that huge, massive shifting change is coming, like a total new chapter. Perhaps even a new book, perhaps even a new library, perhaps a new city where the library is in fact. Total change, total different, total flip. Also really feels like you are fully being guided by your intuition. Like, this feels like past energy is absolutely coming from this past life, your higher self from this past life coming forward and being like, no, this needs to change, this needs to be different, because this past life energy did not settle for things that were wrong or didn't feel right, or when justice wasn't present. And you shouldn't either, my darlings. You should not either. I feel like you are in a place where people are being punished for all the wrong reasons. People are being punished just for existing, and that's not okay. And that's not something you can stand by and accept. And it does feel as though you're being called to this other place, not to run away. You are not people who run away. at all. It doesn't feel like you are going to be running away, but it does feel as though you are going somewhere where you can make a bigger impact. You could even find work in, oh my God, my nose is so itchy. Oh, spirit is coming in hot. You are even working, oh my God, oh, in like the embassy for where you're originally from in this new place, somewhere where you really bring attention and help and guidance to where you are about where you're from. You could help refugees or people who are immigrating to your new place from where you're from. You do make such a huge positive impact on where you're from in this new place, and I feel as though that's why the call is so strong for you, my darlings. Okay, let's get some bird messages. Is that all we have to pull? Okay, last but not least, bird messages. It feels, yeah, you guys have some sly, very, very smart, very brilliantly smart. Smart in a way that's like totally outside of the box as well, much like a fox. Foxes are so brilliant, so clever. Okay, we'll take these two. We have the Carmine Bee Eater, flourish by asking for the help of the powerful, absolutely. And Green Heron, profit through learning and observation. Gorgeous confirmations, yes. So very much being called to go to a place where you have more resources, more time, more money, more ability, more reach, more attention. You are not afraid of anything. You are going to politicians, you are going to heads of, you're going to political leaders, you're going to news place, you're getting like the word out there, you're getting attention out there, you're getting attention brought to the issue at hand. And you're teaching people, you're bringing a voice to a place that matters to you, a place that is close to your heart, and a place that needs change, and you are bringing that change, my darlings. And there is so much power in that, as I feel you have had as well in this past life. So much power of people. I feel like people have underestimated you your whole life. People look at you and perceive what they see, and it is nowhere close to all of the power that you hold beneath, my darlings. You're amazing. Oh, the power. Spirit is behind you 1,000% on this. You are so safe. You are so protected. Absolutely follow through, my darlings. This call is for good reason, and you are going to really help a lot of people by following through with this. Is there anything else, my darlings? They give me a shiver and they tell me no. Oh, what a note to end on. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That was so hugely different from all of the other readings, but very, 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 very powerful. The power you hold, my darlings, absolute gorgeous power. If you enjoyed that, my darlings, please let me know by leaving a comment. Would love to talk to you. Love to hear from you. If the reading resonated, my energy resonated, please subscribe. All of my links for social media and more information on private readings are down below in the description. Thank you so much for being here with me. I wish you all the best. I adore you. I love you. Bye.